It's Friday evening, and it's time for Weather Geeks, getting set for the weekend, and another wintry, sloppy mess coming our way in a little less than 24 hours, so we'll talk all about it in tonight's video. First, a better-looking day today. Yes, it was cold. We spent the afternoon mostly in the 20s, but at least we saw some sun. This time-lapse video from our Boardman camera. This is Route 224 across from Southern Park Mall, and yeah, we had some fair weather clouds in the mix, but it was a much better looking day today than we had yesterday. That is for sure. Our official high at the airport goes into the record books as 33, but that was about 3 o'clock this morning. Spent most of the daylight hours today below the freezing mark. Now, this number compared to the average, 4.5 degrees above the average, that's probably the high water mark for the month. I'm expecting that number to change quite a bit in the coming days and the next few weeks because of the pattern that we have upcoming. This is today's 8 to 14 day outlook from the Climate Prediction Center, showing pretty good odds of below average temperatures from about the 15th through the 21st, and then weeks 3 and 4 as we transition towards the end of February. The pattern really doesn't change a whole lot. In fact, I think there may be, a growing concern that the pattern will get even colder for a time during the kind of last 10 days of the month, just depending on what exactly happens up in the stratosphere with regards to the polar vortex stretching out and making it more favorable for cold to come spilling down out of the Arctic and Canada and into the U.S. La Niñas, a lot of times February is a mild month in a La Niña winter. Even though La Niña, kind of came on and kind of peaked pretty late this year. A lot of times La Niña or El Niño reaches its peak in December. This year it was more of a January to maybe even early February peak. So La Niña is influencing the pattern, but it's going to be overridden by what's going on in the high latitudes and especially up in the stratosphere over the next few weeks. So it doesn't look like it's in the cards for February this time around to be on the mild side in a La Niña winter. All right, winter weather advisories are up for much of the area. Now, the Pittsburgh office did not include Columbiana County, Carroll County, Hancock, Jefferson, Beaver, all of our adjacent counties to the south. But I wouldn't be surprised if they add a couple of rows of counties at some point to the winter weather advisory. To me, the logic behind not including some of those counties is air temperatures might just stay above freezing a little while longer in those locations, meaning just a plain cold rain, not freezing rain, but just a cold rain, maybe lasting a little longer. That's a possible outcome, but, I think we're splitting hairs a little bit here. I think everyone's got, generally speaking, the same forecast in most of our general area as we go into our Saturday. So timing. Daylight hours mostly fine. Now, I wouldn't be surprised if someone sees a snowflake flying or even a couple of sleet pellets in the mix here and there with a spotty shower of some sort of precipitation in the early to mid-afternoon hours. But the more consistent precipitation and probably the bigger impacts then would come later on, closer to sunset and especially after sunset. That's when I would expect the highest impacts from our wintry precipitation. This is going to be kind of similar to the other night in that we're going to be mostly seeing liquid precipitation, but the temperature right around 31-ish, 30-ish, that's going to be the issue. Now, this is going to be a quick hitter. I think the precipitation will taper off pretty quickly before midnight. I mean, even as early as 9 or 10 o'clock, we're probably going to see a tapering off of the precipitation. Now, off to the north of Interstate 80, and especially closer to I-90, this will be more of a snow-sleet mixture than a pure, wintry mix of all precipitation types. And so I wouldn't be surprised if a small slushy accumulation does occur, closer to the Ashtabula line, closer to the Crawford line in northwest PA and up towards Erie, and certainly north of Interstate 80 in Pennsylvania. This is going to be more of a snow-sleet mixture. In our viewing area, could you see a little slushy accumulation of snow and sleet in a place like, Kinsman, Mesopotamia, maybe as far south as Cortland even, maybe over towards Greenville, places like that? Yeah, I can't rule that out, but that's going to be kind of the exception. Most of us, the freezing rain threat is going to be the higher threat. Here's a look at some odds of a tenth of an inch or more worth of ice secretion. I actually think some of these numbers are a little low. Taken literally, this would suggest our odds are under 40% in most of our area of seeing a tenth of an inch. I think that number's a little low. I put it above 50%, and I say that because the modeling is, in pretty good agreement with some, variance here, but generally the models are advertising a tenth to even 2/10 of an inch worth of ice accretion, and that would be enough certainly to cause some problems, again, especially after sunset tomorrow evening. So again, the timing on this, our system approaches, clouds continue to thicken. While there could be a quick shower of sleet or even a snow shower or a flurry in the afternoon. I think for the most part, this is going to be more like 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock. And by 9, 10 o'clock, things are tapering off and ending. So in any one location, this is going to be a good 4 to 5 hours worth of precipitation. You know, if you watched last evening, I showed you the same modeling. It showed the snow pretty far to the south, and I said that was probably too far to the south, and this model definitely came into better agreement with other models shoving most of the snow well off to the north, and, you know, more of that mixed bag right overhead. So I think that's the right idea, and last night's run of this model did in fact probably have the wrong idea. Now Sunday could start with a stray flurry, otherwise clouds and sunny breaks on Sunday, with more in the way of sunshine coming our way on Monday. We'll be in between systems for a couple of days, Sunday and Monday, but we're gaining confidence on the evolution of the first of a couple of systems next week. This one looks like it's going to graze the area and might even try to miss us completely, but it's going to be a close call, mostly Tuesday afternoon into early Tuesday night. Now, I think accumulating snow is a good bet in Morgantown and out towards Altoona, Philadelphia, up towards State College, Williamsport, New York City, Washington, D.C., Baltimore. All those places are probably going to get a decent hit of snow. The back edge of this, though, could be right near our area. And so, while it wouldn't shock me if we got some light snow around here, and maybe even it accumulates and makes some slick spots Tuesday afternoon, Tuesday night, doesn't look like the accumulations will be all that much. And it's possible even some of the model solutions have this, you know, missing us so far to the south and east that we don't hardly see a flake. Now, that's the first of a couple of systems next week. The next one comes our way, it looks like, later Wednesday into Wednesday night, and that one has a better chance of bringing us precipitation. It also has a better chance of bringing us enough mild air that we could be dealing with some sort of wintry mix yet again. That would be mostly Wednesday night. And in the wake of that system, it looks like a blustery day next Thursday with residual snow showers. So, again, that doesn't look like a big snow accumulation for us, that second system, but it could be a real sloppy mess for a time Wednesday night with all sorts of precipitation types perhaps on the table. We'll be talking all about that next week. In the meantime, thanks for watching Weather for Weather Geeks on this Friday evening and all week long. Hope you and yours have a great weekend, and I'll see you back here next week.